Hey everyone, I just wanted to say good job on the Unit 2 discussion. I was very impressed with the way that you all focused on big issue types of questions. Um, Most everyone did a very good job of asking open-ended discussion questions. Um, I did leave everyone some hopefully fairly detailed feedback. Please let me know if you have any questions about that. Um, in terms of what we were talking about this unit, I just wanted to um, kind of point toward where we're going in Unit 3. We're going to think about why and how in the 1850s, and this is something you've already been tweeting about, in the 1850s, liberalism made a comeback throughout Latin America. Many of the questions and discussion threads talked about why most independence movements were conservative in nature, and I think a lot of you did a good job of talking about the uh, the fact that a lot of the independence movements were led by elites themselves. So they may have been criollos or creoles who um, didn't have the same kind of authority or wealth or power as the peninsulares, but they did see that they had a place within the colonial hierarchy. That was something they wanted to preserve. Even those who were seeking for some more liberal reforms, like Simon Bolivar, um, as one who comes to mind, they also, within the framework of trying to create space for new things like freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and a lot of the kind of package of what 19th century liberalism was, they still wanted to maintain their place as leaders, as rulers, even um, in the new nations that they were helping to develop. In the process of creating new nations, as we've seen as well, um, there was a lot of violence. There were wars against the Spanish to um, enact independence or to declare independence and force the Spanish to recognize that independence. Um, in places like Peru and Mexico, there was sort of a conservative backlash after King Fernando VII accepted the liberal constitution in Spain. So they finally kind of came over to independence as well. And so my point is that it's a very chaotic period. A lot of these new nations destroyed their infrastructure through warfare, and they also took on large foreign debts from primarily Great Britain and France. And so that kind of put them on shaky footing for starting out with their new nations. Something else I wanted to point out, and this is not something that we discussed a lot, even though it did appear in the Wood reading and Chasteen to a small degree, there were a lot of leaders then, after independence was gained, that were caudillos. And so this is a kind of theme throughout Latin American nations that the caudillo, or the strongman, was the one who was able to take control and um, lead the government. Part of the problem with that, though, was that caudillo leadership was based on things like machismo, the ability to give patronage to supporters, and when those things ran out, people kind of fell from power. So a lot of caudillos fought against each other and struggled for the support of the people of their nation. In Argentina, we have Rosas as an example of kind of an archetypical caudillo, and in Mexico, we saw the example of Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. So again, as we move toward the next unit, we'll think about why and how caudillos were, if not forced from power, at least their kind of style of leadership was changed, and what allowed for a different set of liberal reforms to often violently, excuse me, I was about to sneeze, um, often violently come to power throughout Latin America in the 1850s. So um, just keep up the good work as we move toward the next unit. And I also wanted to commend all of you on doing a great job with your reading worksheets. As a class, this is one of the best sets of reading worksheets that I've seen. You all did a very good job of including specific examples from the reading and being very specific with your analysis when you answer the questions. So I just wanted you to give yourself a pat on the back for that. Keep up the good work. Um, Also, you may have noticed or not noticed, I posted a tweet that offers extra credit for defining what a caudillo is. So if you want to try to take advantage of that, go to Twitter and see what's going on.